too fast. Dang, you going kind of fast, ain't you?
Yeah.
I told you the bike was fast.
I was only almost 3.
What's up, y'all? So we received an all-terrain, full-size e-bike to review. So the bike that we received is a FreeSky, and I hope I'm saying his name right, EuroStar M410. I believe this bike has full suspension, all-terrain tires like I mentioned before. This bike has a 1,000 watt motor. Advertised to go over 30 miles per hour. I think it's more like 33 miles per hour, but we're going to test that out. This bike has a 48 volt, 23 amp hour battery, advertised to go 90 miles a charge. But we're going to test out the range.
What volt you say?
48 volt, 23 amp hours.
Okay.
We normally get 20 amp hours, but here recently we've been getting 23 to 25 amp hours, so maybe that's where e-bikes are going. This bike weighs 77 pounds, maximum weight of the rider is 300 pounds. And this is the second bike we got from FreeSky. One thing I like about that cargo bike was it did have some anti-theft abilities. To purchase this e-bike, feel free to use my link and my code in the description below to get a discount. Also, I am doing an e-bike giveaway. If you want to be included in this giveaway, you have to be subscribed to the channel and comment below on what type of e-bike you would like. So what we're going to do is unbox this, go through all of the features, and because it's an all-terrain bike, we're going to go on-road, off-road, test out the range, test out the speed, all that cool stuff. And to help me put this bike together, I got my brother and fellow e-bike connoisseur, Tayo, to help me put the bike together. So this is what the bike looks like fresh out the box. Looked like it was packaged really, really well. I do wish they did more to protect the tire, but let's go ahead and get this unwrapped. So this is what the bike looks like without the wrapping. Doesn't look like anything was chipped or damaged. So let's go ahead and get this bike put together. But before we do that, let me mention everything that came in the box. We're going to have to put this 26x4 all-terrain Compass tire on. I've never had a tire from Compass before. Seems like they have some nice grip to them, so you know, we'll see. We're going to have to put the headlight on, which is already connected via wires, and we're going to have to put the handlebar on, which is also connected via wire. We did get a smaller box. Pretty sure this is our battery charger. Our pedals, which are labeled. Looks like we have our quick release front axle, which I love, to put that front wheel on. And we got a nice tool kit here. Definitely came in a cool container. Those are some hexagon wrenches that I would actually use. Looks like we also have our owner's manual in there. Instructions seem pretty straightforward. I always like it when they use pictures. And we did have to remove this from the brake before we put the front wheel on. How I'm going to do it with the fender, because it's not really explained in the instructions, is we're going to make sure that the headlight is in between the fender and the front fork. And then we're going to put it through the headlight. And then we're going to put all that on the front fork there. Whether you want a fender like this to be in the front or the back. We got it in the front, but feel free to do it however you want to do it, I'm sure. So we got this bike put together, only took us about 30 to 40 minutes. This is a rather large bike. From wheel to wheel, it's about 6 feet 3 inches long. Right now we don't have it at the lowest point because of that rear fender, but at its lowest point from the floor is about 2 feet 8 inches. The handlebar, which is not adjustable really, is about 3 feet 7 inches from the floor. And I do love the design of this bike. I think the red and black colors give it like more of like a sporty feel to it. But I think it's a good looking bike. Let me know what y'all think. Look at that suspension. And I've had this suspension on a bike before, but I've never had this part of the suspension. That looks like a new piece here. So curious on how this is going to perform on our off-road test. Give y'all an idea of this rear suspension. Looks like we also have suspension in the front fork, but it doesn't look like we can really adjust to compression. We can just lock out our suspension. Let's say you're on a flat surface, or we can open it up. Give y'all an idea of the front suspension. Get a look at our rear and front 180 millimeter 4 piston disc brakes. I do wish we had a chain wheel cover that was more like aluminum than plastic, because sometimes this damage is easy. This seat does seem comfortable than most, so we'll see. Now we have ridden a bike but not off-road yet, so I am curious on how these Confessin tires are going to perform on our off-road test. Nice wide handlebar. Handlebar is about 2 feet 4.5 inches wide. Looks like we have these more hard, like rubbery grips. We have your standard 7-gear Shimano gear shifter. Don't like the gear shifter on top of your hydraulic brake fluid though. Now this bike has a few anti-theft features. One of them is, in order to turn this bike on, you have to take your battery out, right? You do that by turning this key, pushing this lever here up, and then your battery comes out, right? So on the back of your battery there's a switch. You have to turn that switch on, and then you can put the battery back in the bike. You put that battery back in the bike, make sure that's locked up. You can charge the battery while it's in the bike. Just open this up and then you can put your charger in there. After you click that switch on the battery, you press and hold the power button to turn the bike on. And here you can either enter a password. The password would be 1212, and you can change that if you want to, and that'll take you into your display. Or when the bike is off, you can just use this card here, put this on the display, and then that'll turn your bike on. So I really hope all e-bikes have this feature in 2025. We do have some features over here by your panel. Looks like we do have a horn. That's pretty loud. If we click this light button, that turns our headlight on, and unfortunately we don't have a brake light. If you click the I button, you will get more features on your display. So that gives us our trip time, so how many miles have I ridden on my last bike ride. I click the I button again, that gives me my maximum miles per hour. Click it again, gives me my average miles per hour. You press the plus and minus button to change your pedal assist mode. Look like we have 5 different pedal assist modes. We do have a speed calculator here. Pretty sure you can change that from miles per hour to kilometers if you want to. We have our battery life percentage here in the lower right hand corner. We have our battery bars in the lower left hand corner. We have a thumb throttle for throttle only. We do have a USB charger under our display to charge your phone. Now before we go into our advanced settings, I want to mention that this is a side wheel SW-M818 display, and I'll leave a link in the description below. But we're not going to go into our advanced settings. To go into those advanced settings, you press and hold the plus and the minus button. Our password to get into the advanced settings, I'm quickly clicking the power button to go to the next digit here, is 1313. And I'm not going to go through all of these settings, but I will go through some of them. So P00 is to reset everything to the factory setting. P01 is how bright do you want your display. And we quickly click the power button to save your value and to go to the next setting. P02 is how do you want to calculate your speed. Do you want to do miles per hour or kilometers? P04 is how many minutes do you want the bike to be on before it automatically turns off. P08 is our limit speed. So this is how fast can the bike go, and let's see, and I'm pretty sure that's in kilometers, so it looks like the max is 100. We're going to go ahead and set that to 57 kilometers just to not burn out our battery. P11 is a very important setting. This is your pedal assist sensitivity. I personally think it's mandatory for bikes to give you the ability to change your pedal assist sensitivity, because we have people of different weights and different athletic levels, and usually the lower you go, the more sensitive it is, so we're going to keep it at a 4. And P12 is your pedal assist starting intensity. So we have both. P20 is if you want to change the password you use to turn your bike on. P21 is if you want to change the password you use to get into your advanced setting.
Bruh. Man, you better keep your eyes on the road, dude. Fast, right?
Hell yeah, man. I can really control this thing.
Dang. Is the speed a little too fast for you?
You gotta get used to it. No.
But you're a Need for Speed type dude anyway, right?
True.
What are your thoughts?
We gotta call this bike supersonic. Speed, and more speed. If you got a need for speed, go ahead and hop on this thing right here. On the scale of 1 to 10 on the speed, I give this like a 15. Suspension is good.
After you used it for a little bit, and then the suspension got better?
Got a little bit better, I feel like.
Okay.
I would say the handlebars are probably a little bit too forward.
Okay.
Not too bad, but you know, felt like you was leaning.
And how tall are you?
I'm 5'10". 9.
No, on a scale from 1 to 10, what you giving this bike?
Ooh. I'm gonna give it an 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
All right. So we are about to try out the different pedal assist modes, starting with mode 1. I didn't change the pedal assist sensitivity at all, so this is how it's going to be out the box. Seemed like it kicked off right away. Maybe it took a pedal or two to go down a couple of gears. So let's see how fast we're going. Mode 1. Okay, 12, 13. Alright, so it looks like 12 to 13 miles per hour. Pedal assist mode 1. So we're now going to switch it to mode 3. Now we have 5 pedal assist modes, but we're only going to do mode 1, 3, and we'll do mode 5 later. So let's go up a couple of gears and see how fast we go in mode 3 here. Okay, that kicked off right away. And it does give you a that's pretty perfect pedal assist in mode 3. Yeah, that's decent. A little too much, but I don't know. We'll try mode 3 later. So 21 miles per hour, mode 3. What'd you get that suspension on a scale from 1 to 10?
It could go 7.
So, FreeSky EuroStar, what are your thoughts?
All you speed demons, this is for you. Fast, yo. I think this is the fastest e-bike I've ever been on. Like, I couldn't go past mode 3 because it was just too fast for me. Very, 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 very comfortable seat.
Comfortable seat. Ah, they got you. They got you.
Good job.
Right.
But what is this?
Bruh.
I don't like it. The tires are perfect. Like, it handles off-road very well. The suspension sucks.
The front or the back suspension?
This one.
The front suspension.
But the bike as a whole upgrades that number.
So on a scale from 1 to 10, what would you give this e-bike?
8.2.
8.2. All right. So we're about to get our point of view shots in. Pretty much have perfect weather today, so I might be out a little longer than normal. We're first going to try out these all-terrain Compass tires. We're going to go through some gravel. Alright, and we haven't had any rain, so the rock shouldn't be super slippery. And I'm not feeling any slipping of the tires at all, actually, so that's good. Let's brake here. Alright, a little slipping. Alright, a little slipping. Because this bike has a really wide handlebar and big tires, you can lean into your turns quite a bit. And these tires are definitely grippy enough to lean. They're more on the grippy side, to be honest. And I like leaning into my turns just because I feel like it gives you more control of your turns. I'm not suggesting you do it. You lean at your own leisure, but definitely feel comfortable leaning on this bike with no problem. So we're now about to go off-road with some hills, really test out these tires and test out the dual suspension. So you had to make sure that suspension was open in the front. Alright, let's keep going here. Alright, I've had better suspension, to be honest. Yeah, the suspension is, I think, is maybe average. Let's do some more here. Okay. Yeah, suspension, I would say, is decent, definitely decent enough. I've definitely had better suspension, but it does take a lot of the bumps and cracks out of your bike ride, which is the most important thing. But you know, it's okay. It's definitely okay. It's not bad, that's for sure. It's not a bad suspension. But I've had a bit better. I would say on the scale from 1 to 10. Let's keep going here. Go down here. All right. Scale of 1 to 10, I give the suspension like a 7. Now I'm 5'11", 6 feet with shoes on. I do think I have to lean over just a little bit more than I would like in order to reach the handlebar, but it's not bad. But if I was to keep this e-bike, I would want to get like a handlebar extender. That way I can switch from this kind of aggressive style posture to a more commuter style posture if I wanted to. This bike is very, very comfortable. It's so comfortable where I can use this bike with no hands, but I do have to use my hands to balance it quite a bit. This bike is definitely comfortable enough. I'm gonna see if I can go on a turn here without my hands on the handlebar. Let's see. Yeah, look like I can. So yeah, very smooth, very comfortable. I don't know if I would be vlogging and still be riding the bike. Like some bikes are so smooth where you can vlog without your hands on the handlebar. This bike is not there, but now it's a good thing that you can change your pedal assist sensitivity, because by default, I think this bike gives you a little too much sensitivity and a little bit too much takeoff, but you can adjust all those, thankfully. I'll give y'all an example. I'm in mode 3, right? I'm gonna start pedaling here. See, it just, it's aggressive, right? Like it took off right away and it gives you just a little too much in mode 3 by default, right? We have a bit of a straightaway, so I'm gonna try max speed, throttle only, so I'm not pedaling at all. Let's see how fast we go in throttle only here. Okay, 21. It look like we got to 21 pretty quick though. All right, so it looks like it's gonna be 21. So 21 miles per hour, max speed, throttle only. So we're now gonna try max speed pedal assist, because this bike is so aggressive regarding the speed. I think we probably can get to our max speed pretty quickly here. So wait till we get to the straightaway and let's gun it. All right, let's see. 28, yeah, that's pretty quick. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, damn, 36. Woo! All right, 35, 36, man, and good brakes too. Now, I'm not encouraging you to take an e-bike to the streets and ride in the streets with your e-bike, but if that's what you wanted to do, which was ride in the streets, this is definitely a perfect bike for that, because this bike is big, like it has some size to it, right? And so that bike being big means cars can see you. They can see you on the road. Number two thing is, a heavier bike, a bigger bike like this, does give you a certain level of stability that a small bike would not. Also, because the bike goes over 30 miles per hour, you can keep up with some of the cars. You're not in the way a whole lot because you're able to keep up a little bit of the speed. But I will say, at 35 miles per hour, you feel like you're going 35, 36 miles per hour. Like it's not one of those bikes where you're going fast and it's so smooth where you don't feel like you're going fast. Also, because the bike has full suspension, so stuff like that you don't really feel. So cracks like that, so it's good to have full suspension on the bike. I do wish the full suspension was a little bit better, but it's good enough to ride in the streets. Now, I definitely would not consider this bike like an urban companion type bike. I think this bike would struggle in urban areas because it's so big, you know what I mean? You'll probably also struggle going from the streets to the sidewalk. Again, because the bike is so big. So yeah, I wouldn't say this is really a bike that I would choose to be in a more urban area. Also, believe it or not, for an e-bike, the seat is pretty comfortable. Like, I'm not in a whole lot of pain regarding the seat. And this bike does seem just a little shaky when you're going 34 miles per hour. So I would definitely recommend that you take this bike to your nearest bike shop to get it a tune-up. So we're not gonna do max speed, throttle only, up a hill. This is a pretty steep hill. There's like a 35-degree hill. And we're gonna see how much speed we lose going up this hill. So going into the hill, we're going 20 miles per hour. We're at 19. We're going into the steepest part of the hill now. 18. Dang, all right, we only lost 2 miles per hour. We usually lose like 9 miles per hour, so only losing 2 is a huge plus.
So FreeSky EuroStar, I think this is a decent full suspension all-terrain bike for the price. The best thing about this bike was the speed. Like, this was not only one of the fastest e-bikes that I reviewed on this channel, but also one of the quickest. Like, it gets to your max speed pretty quickly. And it's a good thing that you can change things like your pedal assist sensitivity and your takeoff speed, because I think just out of the box it might be a bit too quick for first time e-bike riders. The suspension in the back is really decent. The suspension in the front is not. I think maybe they cut some corners on the suspension in the front so that they can give you a 1,000 watt motor so that you can go so fast, right? But the suspension in the front is not like horrible, but it's far from the best suspension that I've had. But this one is okay. Also, when you're going max speed, this bike, it can shake a little bit. You just have to make sure you keep both hands on the handlebar. And it shakes regardless of how I do this front fender, if I put it in the front or the back. Right now I have it in the back. So I don't know, maybe you can do without these goofy fenders. So because it shakes at a high speed, I would suggest that you take this bike to your nearest bike shop. Get it a tune-up, make sure everything is okay with the bike after you put it together. I did have to install a handlebar extender on this bike so that I can adjust the height of my handlebar and the angle of my handlebar, because by default the handlebar was a little too far from the seat for me, and I'm 5'11", 6 feet with shoes on. Now let's talk about the battery life, because it's kind of tricky. I went on a 15-mile bike ride, mainly in mode, I would say 3, but I did like 2 miles mode 5 max speed, and in that 15 miles I still had all of my battery bars. So you want to say it's definitely over 60 miles per charge. But I went on a different bike ride. I was doing max speed only, and max speed did drain the battery quite a bit, but I think around a 40-mile mark, which is pretty good if you're going max speed the whole time, right? 40-mile mark, I only had 2 battery bars, and when I had those 2 battery bars, it affected my speed. Like, I couldn't go max speed anymore. I think the fastest I can go when I had 2 battery bars was like 15 miles per hour. And I love the brakes. I think the brakes are decent. So I think just all in all, this is a solid bike. You can tell they cut some corners here and there to maybe give you an affordable bike. So on a scale from 1 to 10, I would give this bike an 8.5. Comment below what you would give this bike. Any other e-bike you want me to review, also comment below. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.